All right, putting two tetrachords together, you're going to have a full complement of 8 notes in our scale. So that's what I'm going to put up here. So this is a full scale, full of 8 notes. And what we need for a major scale is putting 2 tetrachords together with a whole step in between them. So we're going to need to start at the very beginning and make sure that we have one complete tetrachord before we move on to the next one. So starting out here, we already determined in the last video that this tetrachord right here is correct, and it works out. We have C, whole step, half step. Now from there, my next note from F to G, I need to have a whole step because my next 4 notes are a separate tetrachord. But I have to make sure that I start with the right note, because I can create, like if I would start with a G flat here, my tetrachord would start to get jacked up. So I can make a separate tetrachord right here, which is going to be quite interesting because this has to be a double flat. You can just trust me on that. So there's a double flat. We have G flat, A flat, B flat, C double flat. So that is a tetrachord. However, when I put these 2 tetrachords together, it's not going to be right. That distance from F to G flat is actually a half step between the 2 tetrachords, so we need to make it a whole step. So I will take the flats off of those. So let's look at this. We have, unflat, thank you. So we have this tetrachord correct. From an F to a G, we have a note in between there, so that's a whole step. And then we have from a G to an A. So here between these notes, we're starting our new tetrachord. So we already established that the F and the G have a whole step in between them. So our 2 tetrachords, one right here and one right here, are a whole step apart. And we have a G then to an A is a whole step, and that's correct. And then from an A to a B is a whole step. And then we need a half step from B to C. So this, just as it's written right now, is a correct major scale. And you notice it sounds like do scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, let's go and change these notes to start somewhere else. My program is deciding to be slow. So we're starting on an E. So here's an E, and our first tetrachord is going to be from an E to an A. So here we go. E, next one's written F. That's incorrect. We need to make that a sharp. So E to F sharp whole step. F sharp to G is a half step, so we need to add a sharp to the G as well for whole step. So we have E and then whole, half. So A is written correct. For the next tetrachord, we need a whole step between the A and the B, which we have. There's a note in between there. So B is correct. So B to C is a half step, so we need to sharp the C. Oops. So we have a C sharp, B, C sharp, then to D sharp is actually going to be the next correct interval, a whole step, and then we have D sharp to E is a half step. So here's one tetrachord, and here's our other tetrachord, and then the ending and starting notes are split by a whole step. You'll also notice that if I would play just one tetrachord quickly, that's essentially what it is. It's also sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, same exact interval, same sounds. It just depends on how they work together to create a chord. So here we go. We have here's our major scale. Now here's something fun. If I play that first tetrachord down at the bottom, I think it's gonna work. That's gonna work, and then I'm gonna complete another tetrachord. So I can kind of shift those around, and they'll be very, very similar with a slight difference. Okay. I'm going to start on another complicated one. We're going to start on a G flat. So natural this up to. All right, I've input all the commands. It's taking its time. So starting on a G flat, to get up to our first tetrachord, we start at G flat. All these are on white notes, but I will tell you that there's a bit more complicated things in here. So we have G flat, then our next one needs to be actually an A flat for the whole step, and then we have a B flat for the next whole step. Oops. And then from B flat to C is another whole step, so we need to flat the C to make it B flat, or to make it, C flat. So here's our first tetrachord. So G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat. All right. Now from this C flat to D is too large. That is more than even a whole step. So we need to bring it down to a D flat. So our next tetrachord starts on a D flat. So we have D flat. We need to make the E a flat. So D flat, E flat, and the next one is we need a whole step. So we go to an F. So that's correct as written. And then we end with a G flat. Start with the G flat, end with the G flat. You're normally in pretty good shape. So here's our second tetrachord. So that works out. Put them together. And there you go. Okay, so that is a major scale. So what you're going to do for now is head over to musictheory.net, and you're going to go to scale construction. Let's just go back. So scale construction is down here in the red, and here are your presets that you need to be. Clefs, again, you can choose bass clef or treble clef. We'll just choose bass clef because I know that some more of you need some work. And then your range is fine where it is. Scales, you're only going to want to have major. None of these other ones. You can add in some minors if you go to the collegiate level, which I'll get that video out on Tuesday. Filter by key signature. Oops. Key signatures, feel free to add as many as you want. So that key of G flat, I believe, is this one. So we went all the way up to that one. Normally we only go up to 5 sharps and flats. That's one way to do that. And then question mode is accidentals. So you're adding the accidentals in there. And then those other ones are off. I don't know what challenge mode is. You can feel free to do that. And so here's what you do here. I've got F major, so I need to construct my tetrachords with a whole step in between them so that they work. And I know right now that this B is going to have to be flat, so I'm going to go this. I'm going to click flat and submit answer. And it's actually going to play it for you, and so you can hear if you're right before it shows up red or green. C major, let's just get one wrong. Oh, it shows it red. Oh, it gives me a chance to correct it. Excellent. Okay, none on that one. Oh, it's all right. Here's another hint. If you think about your key signatures and you can figure out a way to know, oh, I'm starting on an E flat, I need the key of E flat. That has 3 flats. It has B flat, E flat, A flat. So I have B flats to find all my Bs, make it go flat. Find all my As, make it go flat. And I already have E flat. Oh, that's correct. That's a super fast and easy way, and this is why key signatures are often really important, because you can do a lot of things in there. Okay, it just is repeating for me. So spend some time, and again, I'll post a question on how many you got right. I like to see you guys letting me know about that. Like if you do 300, someone did 300 of these and I was blown away. It's like, that's awesome. But by no means do you have to do that. So feel free to go and do some more practicing with this. For you advanced level students, I'll do some posting about minors and how you construct those tomorrow. Thanks.